Hey guys, welcome to Young and Proud Educators, where we speak everything education. In this video, guys, I'm going to speak about grading versus assessing. What do we mean by those two? They often confused. Some people think that it's one thing, and I'm coming to say it's two different things. And I will show it to you in this video what I mean by that. Okay, and let's move forward. So if you are new in this family, I'd like you guys to please hit on subscribe button, and I'm promising you, I'm telling you, you are not going to regret because you're gonna keep on coming for more. Because we speak education, education for our children, education for ourselves, and how education is evolving and how we can educate our 21st century children. So let me not speak, let me not waste a lot of time. Let me go straight to it. So let's start first with definitions. Let's break it down. What is assessment, guys? Quickly, assessment is a process of gathering, analyzing, and using the information to guide instructions and improve towards their goal. What do we mean by that? There are keywords in this here that we need to look at. We got keywords. Keyword is gathering. The next one is analyzing. What do we analyze? The information. Why do we do that? So we can put our instructions together. And why do we do that? So we can improve the students reaching their goal. We help them reach their goal. So we get into a classroom and we have 20, 30 students that you need to work for the whole year. And first thing that you need to know or do is to understand the children, understand the guys that you're going to work with. How are you going to do that? You're going to have a conversation with them, discussions with them to collect information. Who are they? Where they coming from? You're going to a parent meeting the parents, and you keep on collecting. Then once you collected enough, that's going to take you about 3 months. First term is getting to know your children. Getting to know your children. I know most of the time they say, no, you have to assess, you have to mark them, you have to write reports for the children. You cannot do that yet. Why? Because you don't know those children. You do not know them yet. That's why I'm personally saying, first term, it's for knowing your children, the people that you work with. Once you're done collecting, then you're going to analyze, you break it down, analyzing the entire class, analyzing individuals in that class. And once you're done with that, you're going to put that information together. Then it's going to guide your instructions. How are you going to teach those guys? And why are you doing that? So you can improve. You can help them improve toward reaching their goal. Remember, they will be starting from different points, different levels. That's why you collected information. So you serve them, you teach them the way they learn. Learning starts. If the learning style is audio, then you feed them with audio. The learning style is writing, feed them with writing. So if the learning style is audio, then you feed them with writing. That might be one of the biggest challenges that you're gonna have for that year, and you will just wish that the year just moves quickly, so you can just get rid of them and get another bunch. But the year is gonna go slow, 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 slow. Okay, so that's it. And now let's go to the next one. What is grading? And grading is, in short, it's giving a mark or a weight on a task that student completed. So let's say you say to your student, guys, complete this test for me, complete this exam for me. Once they're done, you give them a mark, or you got 10 out of 20. So it's more of that. Okay, let's move forward and start comparing these two, like full on comparing them. Grading versus assessment. Okay, so what are we doing when we grade the children? We evaluate them. We're putting a mark on a student assessment. I gave you a test, you completed it, I marked it, then this is your score. Out of 20, you got 10 because of 1, 2. Right? That's what grading does. That's what we do when we grade students' work. And then the next part is assessment. As I've mentioned earlier, you're going to collect data, you're going to analyze data, and it's going to guide your teaching and interaction so it can help children to be better. The next part, grading. Grading is more about positioning the children, putting them in different levels. Whereas assessment is not saying that. Assessment is saying support mastery. Let the guys master the process. Let the guy master what you're teaching them. Remember, as I've mentioned earlier, it's about relationships, it's about understanding. Once you understand people, you will then understand, you know what, I need to move this person from here and to get them to that point. That's the goal. And you're gonna have to do that for all of your children. And the next one, grading, we group the children. Those are my A students at the corner. These are my B students at the corner. And this is, you see it in a typical classroom where a teacher will then group children like, for instance, at that corner, you have your A student, you got your B, you got your C. And it influences how the teacher interacts with those children. A students, since they know and they often say they are independent students, therefore they can do the work on their own. The bees will check on them there and there and give tiny guidance, but will allow them to continue. But our D's, the teachers always around their table, it's always guiding them. It influences your interaction with the children. And on the other hand, assessment is more of relationships. I know these children, I understand them, so I'm going to work on relationships. For me to get to these guys, I need to understand them, they need to understand me so we can have a smooth working relationship, you know. Go back to another point. So grading is more of feedback on the task. As I've mentioned earlier, you gave the guys a test and an exam. They did it. Boom, you give them a mark based on the work. On the other hand, assessment, guys, it's holistic feedback and it's consistent. You gave activity on Monday, they did it, you look at it, you sit down with them, and you take them through the process. Now you've done that, it's good. If you try this or you do this, then you can improve. Then they go, they sit down, they do it, then they come back to you. So it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's why we're saying this one encourages or support mastery. And it's verbal and it's written. And I think what makes it more beautiful because it's verbal, then there's that clarity throughout the process. Often grading is not verbal; they just write. I remember when I was at school, they write well done, good, poor. Another point is grading. Personally, I would say puts too much pressure on the student and it causes a lot of anxiety. And why do I say that? So you work with your children for 3 months, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, and you say, okay, guys, we've done this topic, and now I need to see if you understood. You got to mark it, and the marks are going to go into the report. and that report is going to be used by a student to apply for space at university. So that's pressure already. That you know what, I need to do well, I need to do well, I need to do very well. If I don't do well, I might not go to university. Then they study the whole night, no sleep, not even eating well, and they come tomorrow in the class. You come tomorrow in the class, they're anxious. Then you start, guys, everybody sit down. You have 1 hour to write this, and you put the paper in front of them. Already, they're thinking future. So they're anxious. But assessment is chilled. It's a chill process, as I mentioned. You sit with somebody, with your student, you take them through the process. Check this, do this, try this. How about just like that? So there's no pressure that these marks are going to go into my report. It's more of how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I get better? Can I get better? Mastery. Next part, grading. As I've mentioned earlier, guys, grading is more of cramming and trying to remember everything for that specific day. And if you go back to Bloom's taxonomy, remember is the lowest thinking order. So you try to remember everything that the teacher taught you for the past 3 months or for the past 5 weeks. So you can just use that information for that day. And often, once you're done with that test, once you're done with that exam, the next day you remember nothing because it was just for that day. But assessment, as we've mentioned earlier, it's a process. It allows you to make mistakes and learn from the mistake. Often we are told by adults in our space, make a lot of mistakes and learn from them, make a lot of mistakes and learn from them. Yes, assessment encourages that. Grading, no, it does not. Let's go down. And grading is, we're moving on to another point now. Grading is more individualized and we put marks on pedestal. Individualized and pedestal. You get this mark, you go to university. University, you continue the same process. Work hard, get the distinctions. You graduate with cum laude, you go to a workspace, you work with the D students. And when you get there, often they're not even looking at that at the workspace. So now the question is, do I need to have my A distinctions, my cum laude? If it's not going to work for me throughout, then why are we using it? Okay, we're using those distinctions and cum laude and everything so we can then see if we have 50 children, not everybody can go to university. So we're finding a way of separating them. And how are we going to do that? We say it's a fair system on doing that, on using the marks to separate the guys. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. But this is why it's put on pedestal. And the universities are using that. Will the universities ever change? I think this is the right time. This is the right time to start engaging and speaking about that. Then we move to the next side. Assessment community. They encourage students to grow together. They encourage collaboration. Let's work together. Let's think together. Let's solve these problems together. Can be a community program, can be a world program, but let's work on it together. And if you look at where the world is going, we are now teaching the 21st century students. If we're going to teach them and assess them in the 19th century, then we're just reversing them. We're not preparing them for their for their rightful future. We just prepare them to get old, and that's it. That's me. Okay, next one, grading. Grading is more of study and be perfect. You're just getting the guys to be perfect. You study, you don't sleep for the entire night. Why do you do that? So I can get 10 out of 10. Why is that? Because marks are put on pedestal so I can get space at university, and I've mentioned that earlier. That's it. Assessment is practice and is a process. I'm going to practice, I'm going to practice, I'm going to practice, I'm going to get better. Practice, improve, get better. Practice, improve, get better. Just like that. It's more of when you come back to your 10,000 hour rules. Your Michael Jordan did that. The soccer guys now, your Messi and other guys are doing that. A whole lot of guys are doing 10,000 rules. Your LeBron James is doing exactly that. Practice, practice, practice. It's a process. This is not a sprint where you just have 100 meters, quickly you get there. No, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You run for hours, non-stop, for the longest time ever. You've got uphill, downhill. You're crossing the rivers. It's a long marathon. That's why I'm calling it a process. Let's go to the next one. Grading. Grading, you have less time. You have an hour to write an assignment. You have an hour to write the test. You have an hour to write that exam. There's pressure. I've mentioned anxiety earlier. This is what causes anxiety. You spend. That's why I'm saying grading is more of a sprint. You spend 5 days, whole lot of hours studying. So you can sit down and write an exam or a test for an hour. That's the same thing as a sprint. The guys practice for longest hours ever. Why? So they can just run for 9 seconds. That's Usain Bolt, 9 seconds. And assessment, on the other hand, it's enough time. You have the whole year to practice this. You have the whole entire schooling year. So you got to 12 years to practice the skill. So you can grow and get it better. And the last part, guys, grading, we're just summarizing the student learning. That's why it's often done at the end of the term or the end of the year. So, okay, now everybody, we're going to spend a week assessing or writing the tests and exams. Oh, it's exam time. That's when you see everybody like going really anxious. Because the exams, they need to summarize what they taught for the past 3 weeks, 3 months, 7 weeks, however long they taught them. But assessment is more of growth, encourages growth. Let's grow together. Let's grow together. Let's go and experience this process together. So guys, that's me comparing grading versus assessment. And often most people, they do a lot of assessments, then later on they do grading. But personally, I would say do assessments and forget about grading. And in my next video, I'm going to tell you why I do not like grading. Why I do not like grading. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. And if you did like it and you feel like I missed something, please comment and let me know at the comment section below. And if you did like the video, please hit on like. And don't forget to hit subscribe. So when the next video comes in, you're the first to know about it. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you in my next video. Peace to you and the family.